geehrte Damen und Herren, ich möchte Ihnen heute einen Film zeigen, den mir die OPEC Foundation zur Verfügung gestellt hat. Er wurde von ihr in Auftrag gegeben und stellt verschiedene Projekte der OFID vor. Sehr geehrte Damen und Herren, ich wünsche Ihnen viel Vergnügen.
A brand new university campus is under construction.
Although the fund has hundreds of operations underway at any one time, it takes pleasure in visiting the sites of its projects, caring for the future, and sharing the joy of beneficiaries when a project is successfully completed. Soon, many students in Burkina Faso will have adequate accommodation and plenty of space.
Each of the partner countries has got specific problems with education. Infrastructure in primary schools is in poor condition, for instance, in Albania. A poor country by European standards, Albania is making the difficult transition from a centrally planned to a market economy. After a severe depression in the early 1990s, following the end of the communist system, government realized that the fulfillment of expectations for a better future would depend on a well-educated youth.
So the OPEC Fund helped with the reconstruction and equipping of primary schools in the capital Tirana and in outlying areas.
Not just primary education is an important issue in developing countries. Often, it is also the lack of specialized training. Bangladesh, for instance, did not have any specialist programs for dentists. To strengthen medical expertise in Bangladesh, the government sought help from the OPEC Fund to build the country's only dental college in the capital Dhaka. Here, between 60 and 80 new dentists and dental technicians qualify every year.
Like this, the fund has approved thousands of soft loans and grants over the years to raise living standards and improve prospects among the poor. As the needs of the recipient countries have changed, so has the role of the fund.
The OPEC Fund perhaps started modestly but had evolved over the years, both in its operations as well as its resources that are devoted to helping developing countries. And one thing that's positive is that it is dynamic. It has been changing over the years and adjusting to the needs of the beneficiary countries.
The heavy pollution constitutes a severe health hazard for thousands of people who exist at the very margins of the economy. As in many of the poorer nations, environmental improvements are hampered by a lack of resources, with national budgets burdened by debt repayments.
So the wastewater of Accra still flows untreated into the sea. Fishing is nearly impossible here. To bring this unhelpful situation to an end, the OPEC Fund has given various loans for the ecological restoration of the lagoon.
The damages due to flooding will be reduced, and that's a very positive impact. Sanitation too will improve because we know that bad smell that will be coming will be eliminated. There'll be fresh water into the lagoon because of the flushing.
A new wastewater disposal system and a treatment plant are also envisaged. With the help of specialists, nature is once again beginning to flourish.
Sana'a, the stunning capital of Yemen, dates back 3,000 years. Although one of the poorest countries in the Arab world, Yemen possesses a host of cultural and architectural treasures.
For the citizens of Sana'a, one dream concerning the environment has already been realized. The old city, with its famous mud clay houses, boasts a fully functioning modern sewerage system. With the help of an OPEC Fund loan, a new sewage treatment plant has been built. Through the application of modern technology, such as aeration tanks, filter basins, and chlorination, the new installation is a vast ecological improvement.
Lack of water and soil erosion have led to desertification in many parts of the world. In addition, the last reserves of trees are being cut down, as in Sudan. All but a fraction of the 36 million population cooks with fuel wood. But deforestation results in even greater erosion.
To save the remaining forests of Sudan and to support progress in its capital Khartoum, the OPEC Fund for International Development has helped with the rehabilitation of the electric power network. To meet the city's growing needs, the capacity of transformer stations around Khartoum has been greatly expanded.
As a result, residential, commercial, and industrial consumers can now rely on a continuous and efficient service in a town where disruption of electricity was frequent a short time ago. Such action is typical of the Fund's efforts to work with its partner countries to become self-sufficient in energy.
With the range of projects that we are covering, we have actually plenty of cooperating agencies that we are dealing with.
Global partnership for development is especially essential in the case of emergencies and disasters. In Central America, for instance, tropical storms frequently leave behind a trail of death and destruction.
Honduras in particular has often borne the brunt of hurricanes. The floods and mudslides that followed left thousands homeless.
In such emergencies, the OPEC Fund steps in to help by providing grants to bolster relief efforts. This money is usually channeled through humanitarian agencies such as the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent societies.
For countries with fragile economies, such devastation often constitutes a setback of enormous magnitude. To help Honduras rebuild, the fund followed up its emergency aid with special loan assistance to the Honduran Social Investment Fund.
Our advantage is that we are able to respond quickly and efficiently to the needs of the poorest communities. We can swiftly build vital facilities, such as schools and hospitals, without bureaucracy, in a transparent and, thanks to the Internet, international manner. Enjoying a large degree of autonomy, we can achieve more than other official institutions.
Social funds, like this one in Tegucigalpa, work together with villagers, even in the remotest areas, to make sure that water supplies, sanitation services, health centers, schools, and kindergartens are available for everyone. In a short time, they have realized more than 10,000 regional projects. In addition, they try to preserve the country's rich cultural Mayan and Aztec heritage.
The OPEC Fund strives constantly to improve its performance and the effectiveness of its funding. OFID generally believes in joining forces with like-minded agencies worldwide to help maximize the impact of its contribution and to provide a unified strategic response.
By offering encouragement and support, the fund aims to provide its beneficiaries with the means to help themselves. By responding with appropriate action and the necessary financial support, the OPEC Fund has proved to be a reliable partner. Also, in the question of the debt burden, the fund was an active participant in launching the International Debt Relief Initiative, HIPIC.
Until the late 1990s, OFID had worked almost exclusively with governments. Over the past years, though, the private sector has grown in importance.
We basically support projects that are financially and commercially viable, respect the environment, and have an economic impact, of course, on the area they will be set up.
Helping individuals to fulfill their dreams of a better life and encouraging small and medium-sized enterprises to flourish leads to job creation and greater productivity.
The establishment of a separate financing window to support private business is another example of the fund's rapid reaction to changing needs.
The challenges are even more now than when the fund was established in 1976. Certainly the problems have changed a little bit, but we certainly have poverty with us. And unfortunately, in some areas of the world, poverty has gone even worse.
As a consequence, organizations like the OPEC Fund will have to continue with their work, aiming to assist the poorest of the poor, as in Vietnam. 2.6 million people live there in impoverished conditions. They have no access to credit facilities because they have no property to provide as security. Poverty is self-perpetuating.
Recognizing these difficulties, the fund supports the Vietnam Bank for the Poor, which offers financial services to the most deprived households. Through microloans, averaging about $100, people are able to start income-generating activities like the manufacture of bricks. Thousands of operations in some 120 countries in Latin America, the Caribbean, Africa, Europe, the Middle East and Asia testify to the fund's accomplishments.
But in a rapidly changing world, fresh challenges are constantly coming to the fore, and the shaping of a better future depends on the steps taken today. Progress has been made, but much remains to be done to eradicate poverty and achieve the Millennium Development Goals. The OPEC Fund for International Development will continue to make its contribution.
ندوس ونعدي ونروح على حلمنا وبقوة وعزمها ندي للي يخاف ربنا. بتحدي ندوس ونعدي ونروح على حلمنا وبقوة وعزمها ندي اللي يخاف ربنا. وانا وابني وابويا وجدي ايد واحدة ايد واحدة ايد واحدة كلنا علشان تكمل ثورتنا. ايد واحدة